This is a Honda CR500, one of the most insane, intense dirt bikes that you can buy. And a few years ago, we had the dumb idea to pull the engine out of this and to put it into here. Now this bike has been out of production for about 20 years and it has a huge cult following. Today, we're gonna undo this mistake and return this bike to its former glory. 3 years ago, we set the internet on fire when we pulled the heart out of this cream puff of a Honda CR500 and put it in a Harley 883, creating the world's first Harley 500R. The backlash was fierce, and the saying two wrongs don't make a right has never been more true. Now, even though this was one of my favorite and most satisfying builds, it's time to get the world spinning right on its axis again and get this CR500 back into the wild.
Let it rip, Greg. Oh, it's coming.
Okay, just for fun and to challenge myself a little bit, I'm gonna see if I can have this motor out and ready to go into the other bike in the next half an hour.
What?
Yes.
Half an hour?
Half an hour. We're gonna drain the coolant, start unhooking cables and wires, and then bolts, and then carburetor, and then boom, we're done.
We're having a heat wave in Pennsylvania. It's probably like...
It's hot is what it is. Okay, that should do its draining. So with the CR500 being such a collectibles item now, and the one we have is in such good shape, when I did this build, I didn't ruin anything off of the CR500, so that when this time came, we could just throw it all back together and go rip. And that's what we're gonna do. Whoa, found some more of that coolant we were looking for. Okay, master link. Last time I did that, it went down that floor drain. So I work off my tailgate in driveways because it's cleaner than in the shop.
So what's gonna happen to this bike?
I don't know, maybe we'll put another engine in it. Probably not. Carburetor. Pull the pipe. And of course, I don't have my spring pullers here, so we gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Get all fiberglassy and sweaty. Great combination. Oh yeah, that's right. There's, I forgot I put corrugated pipe in between the silencer here and the expansion chamber. If I remember correctly, we built this bike in it took me less than a week. So, you know, some things were a little more finished than others. She on there good. This pipe is really nice too. It's a really nice OEM pipe, so I don't want to screw it up at all. If you were trying to sell this pipe on the open marketplace, you know, a nice one like this, original like this, several $100s would be my guess. Okay, now let's see here. What do we got? We're gonna have to pull this apart here at some point, but we're not gonna do that at the moment. Need to get that clutch disengaged, and then we gotta pull our motor mount bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those will pull off, engines out.
And you think that's gonna take you 15 minutes?
Am I 15 minutes in?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I guess I better pick up my pace then, eh? So as you can see, we had some structural failure on this build. Broke the motor mounts here, and that allows the motor to do this. You know, it's what it is. You know what? Why don't I just pull these bottom pieces? We'll take the whole engine out, brackets and all. Okay, so once we get that stuff loose, we are on our way to victory! Victory! All right, Dan.
Me.
You're gonna have to put the camera down for a sec. I'm gonna have you take this bolt off.
Okay.
Keep going. Okay, you're off. Pull that out. There we go. Time!
Yeah! Craig.
Uh-huh.
You're 6 minutes past a half hour.
Gee dang it.
You were so close though. Let's appreciate the gaping monstrosity you just created.
So I missed my goal by 6 minutes, but I'm gonna blame it on Dan. So now we get this off the table, pull that beast onto the table, put that engine back in that bike, and then kick it. Just like the Beastie Boys say. Kick it! Bow, 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 now. So when I did this, I tried really hard to keep all the original parts with this bike, not ruining a thing. And I also tried to keep everything nice and neat, tucked away. I think I got all the extra motor mount bolts and all that stuff I need in this bag because I figured the one day I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be in a time crunch, and I'm absolutely right. I have till the end of the day to get this thing done and running because we got other stuff to do. Dooby-dooby-doo. Man, dude, I'm the luckiest guy in the world, man. You're working on old dirt bikes in the middle of the day for work, like.
Oh! Craig, you're supposed to grind the metal, not your skin.
Yeah, I know. All right, Dan.
Me.
You.
Do I have to put the camera down again?
Yes. I'm gonna set this engine in if you wanna help me get bolts in.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go, there we go, there we go.
Oh, man. Yep, go. Okay, that'll work.
Hey-o! Now you just gotta, you know, plug everything in and then kick it and ride it off into the sunset.
That's right. You don't just ride these into the sunset. You wheelie them out of control into the sunset.
Oh!
Okay, what are we doing here, Dan?
That's for you to know and for you to tell me, and then you do it.
Okay.
And then you watch.
Water pump plier hammers. If you know, you know. The ECM, the black box, the brain box, whatever you want to call it. That's what this is. And that goes there. Okay. And then we'll probably ground up to here, maybe? Though I gotta look up the routing. I wanna make sure I get the cables and the wires routed correctly. That's actually a pretty big deal. Yeah, I guess for now we can toss the radiators back on. I believe this goes through there, and that through there. Man, I got metal. Look at that. See it?
Not really, but I believe you.
I'm not sure if that's there or there. Do you enjoy with how much I talk to myself?
Yeah. Whatever gets this up and running sooner so that we can go back in the air conditioning.
Okay, so we need to steal the coil off of here. Okay. We should make Ben stand out here just so he has to be hot and miserable with us.
I kind of want to.
I tell you what though, that fan is feeling good.
Depending on where you're standing, it sort of feels like hot air is blowing around.
That's just when you talk. All right, yeah, let's go see here how cables and wires are routed. That way we don't screw it up and it's cooler in the office. Okay, so I didn't really have to go look at the service book, but I wanted to sit in the air conditioner for a while and this gave me a good excuse to do that. And now that we're good and cooled off and the engine's in the bike, it's time to get back to work, tightening up all the little bits and pieces and making sure everything's ready to go. Just in case you don't believe how hot it is in here, Dan's been wearing this thing all day.
The vest. It's the only thing keeping me sane.
And I'm just sitting here sweating. Ouch!
Greg, I'm gonna need you not to hurt yourself. I don't think this is doing anything anymore.
Wish I had my spring puller here. Make these jobs a little easier. Ah, I got it.
Chee-hoo.
Okay. Need to bleed Blakes. We need to bleed Blakes. And then we need to bleed coolant. And then we need to put on the gas tank, the seat, the carburetor, the tank. Rum. Coolant bleed, we're gonna put some coolant in, get that done. Give the carburetor a quick clean. That gets thrown in, bleed the rear brakes. Fire it up, go for a rip. Okay, so we got the coolant in. Now we're gonna move on to the rear brakes, get them situated, and then carburetor, pipe. That's about it. Trying to find a clear piece of hose here. That will go over the brake bleeder. Oh, so close. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Just a little determination. That's all you need. Fill that up. We'll let it work through the system here. Pump some bubbles out. The air's out. I pumped a little new stuff in. We should be good to go. Snug that up a little. We got pedal, we have brake, and it releases. So that's all good. Coolant, we have coolant. I'm gonna lift the swing arm, or the subframe, out of the way, and that'll make putting the carburetor in easier, a little quicker. See, now, normally, the reason I did this is because the carburetor goes in there between the airbox boot and the intake boot, and instead of prying and messing around with all this, I'm gonna lift this up, we're gonna put the carb in here, boom, and then this will slide back down over top of that. Okay, before I just throw this carburetor on, I am gonna open up the float bowl. I wanna change a couple of the jets back around and make sure everything is still nice and clean because the bike hasn't ran for a while. Yeah, not clogged, but close to it. So that's a 60, putting a 55 back in. They say the only thing that can erase Sharpie is Sharpie. And our Met carb cleaner. So now our pilot is a 55 and our main stayed at a 172. We'll push that up out of the way. I'm liking that. One of the things I'll do sometimes is just take a little penetrating oil or just a tiny smidge of grease and just put it on the rubber surface here where it goes over the carb. And that just helps it slide on a little better. That's all, just very tiny bit. There it is. Another thing to make sure is you get the air boot clamps and stuff in the right spot. This one is not. Get that in the groove. Make sure everything's sitting where you want it. Cool. So now carb is in and done. Coil's hooked up, coolant's in, gear oil is done. Need to adjust chain, brakes are down, plastics, vroom, pipe. We need the pipe. Let's put the pipe on. So a good way you can tell a dirt bike, like a 125 to a 250 to a 500, is look at the pipe. Like real quick, you can tell. A 125 pipe, generally it'll like just come down and go out. A 250 pipe will come around this way and out. A 500 will actually wrap around over here and then come out. So that's just a real quick way to tell them apart, you know, when they're sitting in a barn or at the swap meet or something. Exhaust springs need to go on. See if I can do this without hurting myself. Gas tank, then seat. Efficiency. My word, that would have taken forever. And this is always my favorite part of the job, getting on the tank and the seat, because now the only thing left to do is to fire this thing up and ride it. Put a couple miscellaneous pieces back in here. Gotta have extra pieces or else you didn't do it right. That's what I always say. Look at that. We got ourselves a complete 500. That's 500 cc's of absolute fury. You know, your car's a 3 liter or 1.8 liter, whatever. This is half a liter. And this thing only weighs a couple hundred pounds. Yeah, dog. So now this is the part of the video where I just really start procrastinating because I don't want to kick this thing because it kicks like a mule. I'm excited though, now that this thing's back together, we can kind of like sit back and look at it and be like, ooh, we're gonna change the pipe and we're gonna do this and we wanna do that. And maybe this thing's gonna be like super duper awesome. Gonna take it from awesome to super duper awesome. I hate, no, that's not true, I don't hate. I loathe government approved gas cap nozzles. I mean, ridiculous. They're enough to put you in a bad mood. Faude de one. Figure out how to make this thing do stuff. I just want to jab my pocket knife in the bottom of this thing so that it goes glug, glug, glug. Because this trickle, trickle, trickle is nonsense. Little glug, glug, glug. Nailed it! Okay. Back to that procrastinating thing. was talking about. Okay, let me get my kicker boot. How many kicks do you think? I'm gonna say 3 primers. And then how many kicks? Give me a guess. Ben says 7. Comments, put it in the typely bits, you know, where you tell me I do all this stuff wrong. I'm gonna go 4. I'm going primers plus 4. Fuel on, choke on. Okay, here we go, ready? Is that 3? Oh man. Is that 5, 6, air down. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Fresh mixture and everything. A little burning rubber. Oh, it smells so good. We did it, guys. We got the motor back in this. Now we have a bike we can go out and have some fun with and maybe do some upgrades too in the future. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, check out one of these videos. You're gonna love it. Thanks for watching. I wanna ride more. Can't wait to race this thing.